Welcome back. This is K24 This Morning. Took a short break right there, but the show continued. The cameras should have actually been rolling. It's all about county governance and the impeachment solution. We've seen that happen in Kiambu. That could have happened in Kirinyaga, but didn't quite. Right now, it's all about all eyes on the Senate as Nairobi Governor Mbuvi Sonko is on the floor of the Senate on day 2 as the Senate decides his fate. It's a discussion we're having right here. We love it when you're part of it. The WhatsApp number will be at the bottom of the screen. You can also get me at I am Jeff Mote or at K24 TV. In studio, I have John Paul Opuko, Amboy Njoki, and Solomon Kuria weighing in and giving analysis on this particular issue as well. Solomon, I'll come to you on this one because Amboy said, and at times it almost feels like the DP is a convenient scapegoat. When anything goes wrong, he's the first person to turn to. And she said that the reason we're here is because at the primaries, he's the one who took over. And probably if he hadn't, we would have had a different governor in Nairobi. Pretty convenient right now to put the blame there because the entire party agreed this is a candidate we'll front.
Let me say this. A mango doesn't fall far from the tree. And when you hear us saying that the DP and Sonko are birds of a feather, that's exactly what it is. Let me tell you, Sonko is one character who would rather operate an NGO, a non-governmental organization, in the name of Sonko Rescue Team. He will have water bozers, take water to Mukuru Kwajenga using the Sonko Rescue Team trucks. Instead of doing some boreholes there, instead of taking piped water to that place. It is the same character that we see in the deputy president. He would not have policies implemented that would have a bigger scope, that would go to a bigger number of young people. He would rather give a few young persons wheelbarrows and motorbikes and some tanks instead of coming up with something that will cover the whole country. So the thinking and mentality between the president, the deputy president, and Sonko is the same. And that's why we see it's a borrowed leaf. Sonko has borrowed a leaf from the deputy president. Let's go back to the party primaries and see what happened. It was unilaterally agreed that Sonko was going to be the governor because he had actually played his, populist politics and all that. But he was told, no, you will be in charge of the politics of the day. But Polycarp Igathe, who is going to be your deputy, is going to be in charge of development. And you realized, before the governor for Nyeri died, Honorable Gakuru, he was the chairperson of the Mount Kenya Development, task force that was supposed to revive the Nanyuki and Nairobi railway line. His secretary was Polycarp Igathe. So he was already in charge. But how many days did it take him in office before Sonko came with his all manner of, bad things and all that? Remember, if you talk to Polycarp Igathe today, he will tell you the frustrations he went through, courtesy of Mike Sonko. Because Mike Sonko wanted to see him out of the office. Because he knew that he is incompetent. Let me tell you, Jeff, the level of incompetence in that son of a man stinks from a distance. Sonko is not aware of what he is to do with Nairobi. Not now, not tomorrow, or even next year. He is not aware. So the best thing was, let me chase away the deputy governor so that nobody will impeach me because there's no one to take over from me. He was even taken to Senate and he started blaming the Senate that, oh, you don't have a law requiring me to appoint a deputy governor. When he was taken to the corner, he said, now, my deputy governor is Miguna. A person who is away. You see, a joker, a person who is trying to joke around a very serious county like the county of Nairobi. So, with all due respect, this is a very incompetent person, and we know the way he got to office. And by the way, Jeff, it's not witch hunt. Guys out here know what the deputy president did with the party primaries at the Jubilee headquarters. I can tell you because I worked there the whole time. I was there.
Yes.
I know how he sabotaged. I know how some guys were thrown out of the party lists, and they ended up in the cold, up to date.
Solomon,
because
you
he
say
could
that,
come up with his own crop.
Solomon, I want to jump in there just
Yes.
for a second, because even as you say that, of course, this is information privy to you because, as you said, you're part of the team. But what do you have in the public domain? We've never seen Governor Sonko, call the deputy president on speakerphone and put it out. We have seen him do that with the president. We've never heard of the deputy president saving Sonko from impeachment. We've heard that from the president. That's in the public domain. So even as this connection of the governor and the deputy president is trying to be made, it really doesn't stand because this is coming from people who say this happened in a room. But from what we see, it's actually the party leader who's been more connected to the governor and who's been trying to save the governor.
Let us say this. We have been around and we have seen things. It's a time a few months ago, Sonko had a problem. Members of his legal team were led by Kipchumba Murkomen. Even today, the person who was trying to stop the motion yesterday is Kipchumba Murkomen. Who does he speak for? You don't need to be told. You already know he's speaking for someone we know. So he might not come out and say that I work with the deputy president, he's the one who put me here and all that, he helped me up to this far. But we know behind the curtains, these guys do meet, they do talk. And the party has the mechanism of finding out and knowing that there's a connection between the deputy president and Mike Buvi Sonko. It is there.
Let me remind you, maybe probably even when the MCAs that were summoned just the other day at the Jubilee headquarters, it is Murkomen who went there to defend them. Mm-hmm. You see, Deputy President has been using his people, and pretending in public that he's working for the president, meaning to Mkono. But at the end of the day, the people he's surrounded with are the same people we see them going behind what the president is saying. So we don't necessarily need to see the DP's face to know. As a politician, you don't necessarily need to see our face. You just need to see the lapdogs, and this is someone's lapdog, or so-and-so sent this person. So when we say, because even me, I vied in Muranga, and we understand, we know exactly what happened. And since day one, Sonko really knew, and that's why he really made Igathe could not work in that office. Because he knew after Igathe, there was no way he was going to be impeached. And like I've been saying, the president did not want another election in Nairobi. Especially, Nairobi is not like any other county. It will bring a lot of politics, divisive, and we are in the middle of BBI. And that's why the president really, really tried. Even when he was taking some of this, from some of the functions to NMS and leaving some to Nairobi, it was something that was done on the table. But Sonko has always been going behind and saying, this, I was drunk, I was this. You see, from the word go, if you say you are intoxicated, you are incapacitated. You say you cannot just transfer function just because you are intoxicated. So for Nairobi, I think, and the bottom line is Sonko just needs to go. And we need a fresh blood.
John Paul, I'll come to you because you're not in the Jubilee Party, so you can speak to this also from an objective point of view. Is what we are seeing then also at play Sonko being punished for sins of someone else? Because clearly if this connection is being made between him and the DP and the fact that Senator Murkomen has come to defend him, is he paying for someone else's sins? Is that what we're seeing?
Jeff, with what my brother and my sister said, because I think they are more like they're privy to what happens in Jubilee. So I wouldn't talk, I'll just talk on what they're saying. And I can confidently say that I think Jubilee, and maybe those who voted against Jubilee are vindicated now, because this is a party that is unable and was not ready to lead the country. Because if you come and tell us that the party primaries were manipulated and Kenyans got a raw deal, because that is the statement you're getting, we got a raw deal. Starting from Nairobi is not just an ordinary county. This is the capital city of our country. So if we come here and say that we got a raw deal, Sonko was not the person supposed to lead the country. I think that's where the problem. So I think for those who voted maybe ODM or any other party are vindicated now. We should say that Jubilee was not, because this is a government that's leading, but it's like they are unable to champion maybe the agenda. And that is why even the agenda 4 that the president came up with will never be materialized. That's why it's been they're pushing it. And right now, we are blaming the deputy president. Why? And he's, in fact, he's one of the decision-making people in the party. So if we say that Jubilee was unable to control the party primaries, we cannot do now damage control. I think to me it's too late. Let's accept that we got a road deal, and this now should go to Kenyans. Should we just be voting people because of popularity or because this party is popular? No, I think we should now get a closer look. We should now ventilate our issues. We should now interrogate the people that we are putting in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff, Solomon, you want to rejoin on that? Because, I mean, that has squarely been put at, the Jubilee headquarters doorsteps, right here at Pangani. Seems like the party is the one to blame for what we are seeing.
I want to actually mention something different from that, on why we have this impeachment. Remember, when Sonko signed the transfer of functions to the national government, that document says that NMS will be in existence for 2 years. You see, that period is always coming to an end. And we can't imagine, coming to an end, and then we go back to a Sonko who cannot actually make things happen or run in Nairobi. So we really have to have a solution. And the best solution is to have this man out of the office once and for all. And then we have another person to come and finish the term and serve the people of Nairobi. So that is where we are. We don't want to go back to the incompetence. We have already had a general who is making things run. And if you get out of this studio and start walking around, you will see just the Mishuki Park here has been renovated. Now you can walk there with your girlfriend and sit down. And I would like to say, Jeff, a number of governors in this country have converted county governments, which are institutions, to almost family affairs. It is the same thing we had in Kiambu, where Waitito was running the county with his wife, and we saw it. Now you see, a governor is paying 4 million for her daughter to step out of the country, fly all the way to New York, and do things. We are also aware that there are some governors around who have very strong girlfriends, who control what happens in the county. Very serious matters of appointment, budget approval, allocations, and all that. So it's time governors learn that actually what they run are governments. They are not family enterprises.
Let me bring in somebody who should be playing that role in terms of oversight and making sure governors are checked in what they do. Wambui, when you talk about such allegations, because he was speaking about even girlfriends who are, running county coffers,
yes.
And I think I saw you from the corner of my eye nod. Really, that with a county assembly in place, that shouldn't be the case. Any, spending that seems peculiar should be brought to the floor of the House and dealt with. Again, is this where we should be looking at, that we don't have strong oversight at the county level, and that's why we see things spilling over by the time they get to the Senate in terms of impeachment?
Jeff, what most of the people don't know, the county assembly and the executive are two different entities. They're separate house. They're actually separate. But what most of the people don't know is that the county government is the ones that pays assembly members.
Right.
We don't have an autonomy, for our salary or for our programs or anything. Actually, we operate under the mercies of the governors, and that is what people don't know until today. There was a time, we are paid through infamies. There was a time before the governor could decide who to pay, depending with how if you're allegiance to them. Those kind of things. And you see, when you cannot bite the hand that that feeds you. And that is the situation across all the counties. Today, which county has really come forward? Kirinyaga tried, but no other county has really come out to come and say, our governor is doing this or the governor is doing that. We operate under their masses. And that is why we are very happy, especially with the new document, the BBI, where the BBI is now coming to give the MCAs a kitty of 5% for development. Because even for us, even where I come from, in terms of development, you see, if for instance, the governor was elected in, let's say, some other area, he was not elected. What if he just decides, I'll just do, development to the places that was elected? What happens to the area MCAs? And most of the time, you see people blaming the MCAs, they are not working. We don't have funds. We don't have funds to work. What happens is, the budget is brought to the House, we pass it, and we give the CECs the job to implement. When you go to even ask for, you want to summon the CEC, you are summoned and you ask, why are you summoning the CEC? He's my CEC. And after that, probably you'll be kicked out of the committees, your word will be neglected. So what happens is you either shut up, or you don't get the salary, or you don't get the project. It is chaotic. And that's why I'm asking all the county assemblies, you need to support this bill. Because I'll be running again. I want that fund. So that if a bridge, if someone in my village, there's a broken bridge, I don't even need to go to the governor to, to get such kind of funds. So it is really a sad affair. And what I'm telling you is we cannot, yes, we are incapacitated to oversight the governors. You can imagine, for us, we pass about 8 billion budget. Of course, for our budget is about 600 million to run the county assembly. How am I supposed even to go and ask the governor what he's doing with his money? I'm waiting for him to come pick money from the treasury, then come pay me. It is, and that is one thing that I was hoping that I'll see Senate, pass before they leave. The autonomy for the county assemblies. We still don't have that. It is still not in the BBI. That is one of the recommendations. Personally, I had written, submitted to the commission of BBI. It is still not there, but I feel like even going forward, the Senate can do that without probably not through the BBI, but it should be done. For us to have accountable governors, we must have an independent county assemblies.
Well, John Paul.
And let me add something. And also we have the County Assembly Forum, now which became very political. The County Assembly Forum is, through the 47 counties, where all the speakers are members, then they pick around 2 people. What happened at the CAF, they went again and the leadership of the CAF, they picked their leaders, the speakers. So the members of the assembly, they are in the CAF, but they're not in the leadership. So what happens is they now pick the interest on the sides of political they want to follow. I would say without a doubt, right now they are going around all the counties. And I remember even the chairman, the speaker of Nyandarua County Assembly, he came to Muranga and now they are propagating, they are they're against BBI. And you see now you are wondering, really, did we put this body to fight for MCAs or not to take political sides? I think MCAs should be empowered. They should, get more, it's such an entity, very nice one, but it lacks a lot of accountability and everybody wants to use the MCAs for their own political gains.
John, it's quite a revelation here that even as we have this particular institution in place in terms of the county assembly, with what we're getting from Njoki, we hope they should be doing oversight, but they can't.
Jeff, and I think she has made a very a good statement that I hope Kenyans have heard, that we have MCAs who are operating under the mercies of the governor. Because what is the purpose of these MCAs if they cannot do an oversight? MCAs, they're there to legislate, right, in the county assembly. So if we have MCAs who cannot even stand up and say that our governor is doing ABCD, I think that is where we are going wrong. And is BBI going to solve this? Is the Ward Fund going to solve all these things? To me, I feel that is not the solution. The solution is we should go back to Chapter 6, integrity. Because even if, Jeff, you are paid 100 million Kenya shillings, but your values and your morals do not match with what you're supposed to do, I think you will never deliver. So I think MCAs also should not go behind the curtain and say, we cannot do this because we expect to be paid. It's just like saying a doctor, I'll not save your life because I've not been paid. You see, they take oath of office. They're here to do an oversight. So if we are being told that they cannot do their roles because of salaries maybe delayed, and we've seen a number of MCAs being taken to Dubai, being taken to benchmarking, they receive per diem, they receive allowances. So to me, salary should not be an issue. When we had the issue about Kitui, we were told some MCAs, I don't know what happened, they disappeared, another one was found, I don't know, in Taita Taveta. These are just sideshows that Kenyans, should not entertain. So right. I think it all goes back again to the oversight role that MCAs are doing. So with the admission, she has just told us they have failed in their part. And right. Ward Fund will not solve this. Ward Fund is just there to strengthen. It's just to strengthen and make them independent, yes. But you cannot be independent if your own values and your own morals do not match what you stand for.
Okay,
what I wanted to say is, he's arguing from the point of ignorance, because as for us, we are there, and I can tell you for sure, after you spend, through intimidation, some of us have even slept in cells, for 2-3 nights through intimidation. It gets to that point that you feel like, what else can I do? And, when you lose, because you go to the assembly, you want to work for your people, and it becomes so difficult. I wish I wish someone can just go and actually sit down with the MCs and they tell you what they go through. It's not necessarily about the salaries. It's actually, you know, when you are removed from the committees, that's where, of course, that's where you make your presentation about your people. If, for instance, you want roads, that's where you make there is structure. I cannot just come to, you know, to the limelight because of Chapter 6 and say so-and-so is corrupt. There is a structure. There's a way that things are supposed to be done. So when you go and nothing is happening, or you're intimidated, you get to a point and you get tired. Okay. And also it gets back to who do we elect. You remember I said, if you want quality leaders, we must be quality voters. So from the word go, did we vote for quality? Are we first quality voters? Did we vote for quality leaders? Let us not ask for what we don't have.
Solomon, I'll come to you on this one, because even as you look at some of the impropriety in terms of the allegations put as far as what Governor Sonko has done, it's not a very unique case to what you're seeing in terms of county expenditure right across the country. We've seen that severally across from various Auditor General reports. How do you deal with this? Because as we're talking to a deputy leader of majority, she's saying it's a problem and it's very difficult oversighting the governors and the executive. And essentially that is their core and, you know, right at the top of their roles. That's really what they should do. How do we solve this? Because some people are saying this could have been done even without BBI. How do we solve this moving forward?
One, allow me to say the following, that also we cannot run away from the fact that most of the county assemblies have gone to bed with the county executives.
Yeah, true.
That's why once you sit down and reason, you wonder. We are getting a report from the Ministry of Health or from wherever that most of the counties, or a big number of the counties, do not have even a single ICU bed amidst COVID-19. And 5 billion was released by the president to the county governments to just take care of COVID-19. If you travel down there and you happen to sleep maybe in some of those county headquarters, the big spenders in those towns are some of the MCAs. They drive high-end vehicles, which they cannot even explain how they bought them. So we must be able to say that a big number of counties or a big number of county assemblies are in bed with the county executives. That's a fact. Number two, the issue of BBI and sorting out the issue of oversight and making sure that county assemblies perform their duty, I would say Watford is important, because somehow you need some level of autonomy to feel that you have some strength. There's something a governor will not decide, because I would like my friend to understand that the Watford, total of it will go to development matters only. There won't be issues to do with bursary and all that, no. Watford will be squarely for development. So, and even MCA is given 40 million. Then, in that particular ward, he'll be able to put some maram on those roads, you know, put up some health centers and all that. So this money will make the MCA have some level of autonomy. And we must agree that also governors have been using that loophole to actually control, remote control, a big number of the MCAs. So I would say it would be wrong to say that Watford has been brought by the BBI just to be there, you know what, no. It's a very important fund. Let us think in this perspective. We have the national government constituency development fund. I mean, a member of parliament walks shoulder high, because every year they receive 100 million. And that's why you find sometimes the county governors are not able to compromise the members of parliament, because you walk around and you will hear members of parliament talking about bad things happening in their counties, because they have a kitty, they have something to offer to their people. But if a governor shows up to an MP who doesn't have a fund to control and says, I'm giving you this 1 million, they pocket them. So I would say what fund is one of the things that is making myself actually support the BBI.
At this particular point in time, we have a minute or so. Before we close this, I want just parting remarks very quickly as we go around the table. Let me start with you, John Paul, very quickly as we close.
Jeff, thank you. Mine is just to ask Kenyans to be vigilant. BBI is a good document. and we should support it, of course, but I think we should do it without malice. If it's going to be the next rejoin, it's going to be the next phase that is going to shape the future of this country, I think to me is a good. And secondly, Jeff, when we go to the ballot, we should be very wary on the leaders that we're choosing, because that is where the problem starts. Okay. We should be able to interrogate these leaders, investigate them, let them come out, let them come up with policies. And what we are seeing here with a failed government, because I'll call it a failed government, because we have rogue leaders from the Jubilee who are leading us. So I think it's something that we should interrogate in the next phase from the BBI to 2022 politics. Okay, thank you.
Wambo, your parting shot today.
Yes, mine, because I'm a woman, I want to tell the women of this country that this document is for us and they should interrogate the document. And I would like to call all my fellow women to come out and run for this elective seat. And please don't run to be nominated, run to win. When you are running to be nominated, remember there's someone who is running to win. So when you are running, give it all. And we are going to support each other.
Okay, fantastic stuff. Right there. Very quickly, Solomon, your parting shot today.
I would like this to be my parting shot that Martin Luther King once said that the quality, not the longevity of one's life, is what matters. Devolution has been here with us for 7 years. Do we see the quality of devolution? And going forward, are we going to count the number of years devolution has been with us, or are we going to see the quality of devolution in this country? We must start electing leaders with dignity who abide to Chapter 6 of our Constitution. And by doing that, we shall have office holders who are accountable to the people.
Okay, that's where we leave it as far as this conversation is concerned. John Paul Upoko, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your time as well. Solomon Kuria, asante sana for your time on the show. That's where we break it as far as this is concerned. I might as well wish you all a Merry Christmas. I don't think we'll do this again until next year. Sure. So happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Stay safe. We do this again next year. Merry Christmas on the show. Asante sana. We take a short break now. We're back on the other side as we get interactive. This is K24 This Morning.